Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, June 17th, and it has happened, everybody. Your boy, at the time of this recording, has finally acquired an Xbox Series X. Today, in fact, on this very day, today. You got a tweet from IGN Deals that our Xbox One or Series X's are going to be going on sale today, within minutes of seeing it. And you waited on, I was poaching Walmart, just poaching, staying on there, refreshing, just to see if it was going to happen, if I would even to be lucky enough to grab one. And at the first attempt at 310, I missed the mark. But then again, another opening came at about 320. I waited, and it was around 313 when it happened. I refreshed, said in stock, clicked buy, accept, do all that doodad, and boom, I got it. It was one of the most exhilarating, exciting, anxious things that I've done in a while. Just trying to be one of the first people, not the first, but one of the first on this day to get the Xbox Series X, and it actually happened. After my, just whining about it through many episodes of this podcast, it's finally happened. So I am super happy. We have finally accomplished the unaccomplishable. It has finally happened. Your boy's happy. Your boy's going to be playing on the next-gen console, and that's going to be now the current-gen console. Your boy's so happy. And you know what? It was all because of the preparation. Preparation and dedication. You got to follow certain people on Twitter for this stuff to happen. IGN, Deals, Wario64, you gotta follow people. This is gonna be kind of like a class on how to get one of these things, because they're so rare. With production shortages, chip shortages, hardware shortages, employee shortages at these factories. It's been tough to get them. I understand if you're trying to get them now, you got to be pretty much ready at the moment. So my advice is make an account for Walmart, Target, and Amazon, whatever. But have your billing information already saved on there. Have your credit card on there, debit card, whatever. Just have it ready on there. So that way you don't have to enter it in, because I feel like today, obviously when I clicked, buy, and I had to enter my security code, but that was about it. And I clicked, buy, it was gone within seconds. So it's not like if you open the window and you got it in your cart, that's going to be that it's in your cart. It is still going to be stolen if you're not fast enough, if you're not quick enough. You got to be quick on the draw with these things. So always have that open, and make sure that you don't anticipate it either. You got to anticipate, or you have to anticipate the speed. Just be ready and and stay there. Keep refreshing. Obviously today they rolled them out a bit earlier than they said that they would, so maybe refresh before the time that they said, because I got mine from Walmart, and God bless Walmart, by the way. So I get this notification that they're going on sale at 3:10 Eastern time, which would have been 12:10 here. So thank God my brother alerted me, but I was already on the site and ready, and then so I just clicked refresh, and it was just available to purchase $499.99. So I clicked that, and it just kind of be anticipated to be dropping earlier than the time that they say. If you want to buy one of these consoles in the future, if you do want to, that's what I would suggest. But this has been a great day. It's been an awesome day. Finally got one after the struggle of the last few months. People say you're never gonna get one. You're never gonna get one. Might as well just give up or whatever, or just buy a bundle. There's no way I was going to buy a bundle. No way. Absolutely not. It's just the price of those bundles with some of the games that I already have, or a shitty game that I don't even want, a microphone which I don't need, headset, controller, extra controller. I don't need any of that yet. For an absurd price. It's no, piss off, whatever. I don't want that. But it was a good day, and it made up for a pretty terrible day yesterday, Wednesday. It was another attempt to get an Xbox Series X, but it was at one of the most maybe the most disrespectful, the least caring stores, retailer, whatever you want to call it, places you could walk into in the entire world, the entire planet, and that is called GameStop. Me and my brother went there yesterday around 10:30. They opened at 11, but only because we got emails and posts and tweets and all that GameStop was going to have Series X's and S's for in-person purchase. You got to be at the store to do that. Now, like we're thinking, like, what, it's 2021. Why do we got to go to the store for that? Like, what is this crap? Anyway, we were just like, okay, let's just go. Try to get there early. Hopefully, nobody sees the email or reads the tweet or whatever. Just praying to God that not many people see it. We got there, it was like maybe before the store opened, it was like maybe 8 people total, so it wasn't that big of a deal and it wasn't that bad. But I was like saying, like, well, what if they have like maybe like 10 units or 10 consoles? Then it would just be barely enough. But if they had like maybe 5, it's like, who the fuck would like give you 5 consoles and email them about that? Like, it's just gonna cause a lot of people to be angry at each other and start fights and all that. It's just like it's pathetic, really. But it's like, we went there and then the sign on the door said, we have no units for opening for the store, which is at 11 a.m. So we're like, okay, well, if they say this is true, then we'll just wait and talk to the manager, try to see if they know where they're at, how many they'll get, maybe come back a little bit later, and see if they have any or when they'll be there. They said that the shipment was delayed. So that's why they didn't have any. So when he got there, he walks in all cool and all that. It's like, yeah, I got the key. How's it going, guys? Walks in right before he opens up the store so he can just like get in there. He shuts the gate behind and all that just to be, safe. And then right at 11, he opens up the gates and then the door opens and unlocks and we walk in. Everybody's like kind of filing in. Everybody kind of disagreed or just forgot about the order that we were already in or who showed up when, because we didn't make a line. It was just a muddle of people there. There was no honor system. Nobody there. It's like people were just crowding in front of people. No manners, by the way. Your boy was the only one who fucking held the door open and to let some people in. It's like, what the hell's going on here? What these savages just don't even care about like decency or society at that point. So I let them all in, some people in, held the door open for the person behind me, went into the line, and then the guy, the employee, behind the counter is like, what can I do for you guys? Like, you already fucking know. Come on, just put it 2 and 2 together. Why would we be here? Why would this mob of, not even mob, but like small group of people, and which at this point it got to like maybe like 10, maybe 10 or 9. Well, why would this group of 10 people be here before the store even opens? Your GameStop. Nobody shops there nowadays to buy games anymore. Nobody even wants to buy turn in their game or buy a pre-owned game from you anymore. The store sucks. They have bad customer service. You have bad deals. You never have the games that we want. You overpriced resell games all the time. You have lost the customer support, and you don't value the customers. This has been for a while, though. If you talk to anybody who plays games or who has had experience with GameStop, they will tell you the same exact thing. And maybe it's just because of the GameStops in my area, but I think that it's well known nationwide, maybe even worldwide, that GameStop just sucks. It sucks going there. Anyways, he has the audacity to ask us, what do you guys want, or what can I help you with? And it's like, do you know when the Xboxes are going to be here? Your sign says, that it was delayed. Do you have an update on that? A reasonable question, we how many units are going to be? Is there a list that we can sign or something like that? Or do we have anything that we could do? Because, people might have made the trip there from maybe further than I did. And people got up early. People maybe even like took some time off, or, who knows, right? Who knows what these people did? But then he says like, yeah, man, we don't know when they're coming. The tracking number says 3 hours ago, but, it could be either tomorrow or the next day, or maybe even next week. And that was just one of the worst things that I could have heard somebody utter out of their mouth when it feels like they should have already known this. And it's like, bro, in what world is this okay for you to, I don't know, maybe email people, maybe post on your door that we don't know when it's coming or that they're not coming today? Like, his range of time for when they would be delivered was from, I quote you not, or I shit you not. He said it could be 3 hours, tomorrow, the next day, or even next week, sometime next week. It's like, bro, that is not okay. This is terrible. Like, this is why we don't like you. This is why we don't trust you. This is why we don't come to your stores anymore. This is why you shouldn't even be a store. Thanks to that dumb freaking stock market thing or whatever that happened last year, or not last year, but this year. Or last year, I can't remember, but like whenever that happened and GameStop was like going through the roof and all that, it's like, you shouldn't even be a store anymore. You really shouldn't. The deals that you, the deals, air quotes, what you say about your, we have the best deals. You can buy this and this there. We have sales all the time. It's like, but it's stuff that like nobody really wants though. You don't even do you even take games? I doubt in today's world of digital gaming and just, buying other options to buy used games other places. I don't know if they would give you even any money if you wanted to trade in a game. Like, just because of their business and how much they've been on the ropes of their business and how where they are at it financially, and their stock market and all that, their point, I don't know. Like, they just don't seem like they could be that business that they were back in the day when they were actually somewhat decent, where you can go in there and get a used game for a reasonable price, turn in a game for some stuff that actually kind of was not a scam, clearly. But it just feels like nowadays in 2021 with all the technology and all the downloadable games, it just doesn't seem that Game Pass on Xbox, it just doesn't seem that GameStop really has a place in the modern day of gaming consumption, gaming, whatever, games, consoles, whatever. It just doesn't seem like it's sustainable anymore. And the fact that it did, the stock did go up and all that, they kind of saved GameStop. Was that even for the good? I would say no. I would say it was for the bad, and not just bad for me, obviously, but bad for consumers in general. I don't know if you've ever been to a GameStop, or if you have, you probably know this, but their employees kind of stink. They don't seem very motivated. They seem very dull. Maybe they get paid bad. Maybe they have this shitty ideology of pushing promoting shit to people and always getting shut down because nobody wants to buy that shit or buy the promotions or buy their deals or whatever, buy their bundles, and it leaves a sour taste in your mouth and in your experience there, and just how it is nowadays. It's so it's just kind of lame. It's lame now. It's like, it used to be a cool place. You would go there, you would actually browse in there, see what you can get, maybe a good deal, maybe a steal. They also had some merchandise, other things, models, toys, T-shirts even. Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff. They had a demo area. That's all stripped away now. Now it's just the new releases, buy them, pre-order them, ordering them, getting a discount maybe, but it's it's just changed a lot, and you can't, and it's so much easier, and it's not even worth it now because you can just pre-order a game on a website, on Amazon, on Best Buy, whatever you want now. You don't need a GameStop. It's dead. It should be dead. The experience there is just bad now. It's just not even. It's not pro customer. It's I wouldn't even know what to say. What it was. It's just bad. But anyway, when that news broke, when that guy said that, we all just kind of walked out okay, well, bye then, no business for you. And he said, well, maybe you should post on your website or email us that we don't have any units here, because that means another store that was maybe 30 miles away, maybe 20, also wouldn't have any units either. So I mean, if they would deliver one to one store and then go to the other, I mean, I'm sure that's what's happening, how that works when you ship units of consoles out. But that means that store wouldn't have any either. So it's the store itself has got to do a better job of just telling the consumer when, if they should even show up at all. You know what I mean? Because again, people took time off, maybe pushed some things around in their schedule, whatever they did, they made the sacrifice to come there a bit earlier than they should have, maybe. I was actually telling my brother, what if there is no, not enough units there? What if there's a line of like maybe 30 people there. Like what if that's the case? Like, and we just don't get them. I would have rather had that, I think, and maybe have a sliver of a chance. Like you get up there, the person like right behind you, right in front of you gets one, and then they walk away, and then you go up to the cashier, like, can I get one Xbox Series X, please? Sorry, bro, that's it. That we just ran out right then and there. Like, oh fuck. Like you would be mad, but you wouldn't be as that mad because you know that they actually have the consoles. Other people took the time to be there early and all that. It was a risk that you took, how late you showed up or whatever, and it was all on your fault. Now, having that being said, when it's on GameStop's fault, like you could have just told us or put the sign on the window of the door, like we don't know when they're coming in, they're delayed. We'll send out another email or another post or whatever, update the website, something like that. So it was kind of a bit of a, you can see they're kind of, I don't know if this is the right word to say, but they're kind of like almost like very consumer unfriendly. So in my opinion, GameStop is just, it's old, man. It's got to go. It's just, it wasn't what it used to be. There's not a vibe there anymore. It's time to go. And that's okay though. That's fine. And this store really was, it was very niche. It was just video games. Back in the day, you could have gone to a Walmart, a Kmart, a Target, and they have an entire gaming section. And that was like connected to the technology section or like the TV section or the stereo system section. It was more accessible, and it wasn't as big as GameStop, obviously, but it was still like a place where a gamer, whether you're hardcore, casual, whatever, you can just go there and browse games that you might want to pick up. Maybe you missed out on it, you saw it again, like, oh, I should maybe give this a shot. Or you gotta, you want to trade a game in and see how much money you can get back, or whatever. And now it's just become an empty wasteland of just despair and disappointment and anger there. Like, I just feel like the more you go there, the angrier you get about that place. Like, I already left. I hadn't been there in years before yesterday. Yesterday, was one reasons why I would go back to GameStop was just to see if they had consoles there that I could physically pick up and bring to my house, not having to deal with shipping or other taxes like that, or just waiting to get the console in my hands. I was just waiting, just saying, okay, fuck it, let's just go and see if I can actually get my hands on one of them, my physical hands, and take it to my house and play it. That's it. But it's sad, yeah. And it's like, but before that, I would never even go back to GameStop. And I know I have some friends that would say, why not? You can just go and buy the game right then and there. But it's like, I don't feel like it's a good place anymore. There's just no magic there anymore. No vibe. It's just dead. And, it's their fault, I think. They didn't evolve enough to make people want to go back there. It just wasn't fun. The employees were kind of boring. They always shoved stuff in your face. Buy this, pre-order that, all this and that. I get it. They kind of have to stay alive. Their business depends on the sales that they make there. I understand that, but it seems like it's just like, it wasn't fun. It was just buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. It didn't make it any fun, not interesting, not what's the word? Appealing. And it just died. And, for the better, I think. I wouldn't recommend you, if you were getting into gaming and you want to get into video games, and you wanted to see, like, oh, where should I go? Should I go to GameStop? I would say avoid GameStop at all cost. Never go there. They don't care, and neither should you, because when you get there and you see how much how little they care, you'll be like, maybe I don't want to get into games. Maybe I don't want to play a video game right now. That'll turn you off, but because that's not because of the games, it's not because of your friends, it's because of GameStop. They just do not care anymore. I remember I was reading an article that they were going to change things up a bit to try to appeal to the current, the modern day gamer, but I don't know if they're, that's going to even work now. I mean, everybody's just got a bad taste of GameStop in their mouth. It's almost becoming like a Blockbuster. What's Netflix and all that was happening, and once you got movies at the click of a button on your remote, it's kind of over. I mean, we got, I understand that not everybody can find the old games that they wanted to, but also, like, even if a game isn't even that old, you can go to get it digitally for, like, on the Xbox store for, like, a discounted price maybe, Or there's Game Pass, when you have so many titles of games just at your fingertips for a monthly subscription. So it's like, it's kind of taking the same route as Blockbuster in a way. It's like, it's pretty much like already decided. Like their fate is like pretty much inevitably gonna end without, no more. I mean, unless they, I don't even know how they would bring it back, but if they did, it would definitely surprise me, and I would not go there back immediately, but I would wait to see, like, okay, well, what are you going to do differently? What are you going to do to change what you used to do that was bad? You're going to put in any effort into it? Are you going to, try to win over customers again? Or are you going to try to be customer friendly? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I would need to know what their approach is to make their services better than they were before, because now they're just in shambles. It's not welcoming. It's not fun. That's why I kind of avoided GameStop for so long. I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with this. And it would have been bad if I, if I got an Xbox, I got it up and running, and then I have to go back, to my place, and I play in a hot-ass house because AC's still out. Thankfully, that's not the case, though. The AC is fixed. It's working better than it ever has before. The cold air is cold as ice, and it gets it cold fast. I mean, like, thank God today, because today was over 100 degrees. And if I did not have that in, oh my God, I would have been melting in my chair right now. But I'm not. I'm not melting. I'm a little warm because I closed the door and all that, just because nobody wants to hear me talk into a microphone like this. But the AC's working great. Sleeping is easy. Just chilling out is fine. It doesn't get hot anymore, so that's good. Thank God, because if we didn't get an AC, I do not know how we would survive this upcoming heat wave, which is going to be starting today, I think, and tomorrow, Saturday, and some parts of Sunday, like 109, I think, in the valley. So it's going to be brutal. I mean, brutal. So if you want to be outside, I would suggest not to. It's going to be extremely hot unless you have a pool or whatever. Put on some sunscreen, chill out there, but do not do anything excruciatingly difficult. Because it's going to be a hot one. But also the past week was also E3 finally happened. I mean, just to kind of like, reiterate and retell that this is still considered it was still a virtual E3, right? There was no conferences, no audiences, no journalists, no people actually like at the events or whatever. It was virtual. You just watch a live stream of it happening, and then people would talk over it, maybe if they were even there. But it was cool. It's good. And now, if you want to know what I checked out, I checked out the Xbox One, Ubisoft, and kind of a little bit of the Nintendo, just off the bat of what I saw at E3, and I think I realized this. With it being virtual and being just a big live stream, back-to-back games being shown off, like just a trailer, and then another trailer, and then another, you kind of lose the passion and then the creativity and the what this game means to the people that made it. You lose that because it's just one after the other after the other, and I kind of can't wait for the whole virtual thing to go away because I want to see that again. I want to see the passion. I want to see what these people thought of when they made it. Some of them had the behind the scenes type things, which was good, but others just kind of like went and gone like that. But it was a good conference. Other than that, it was fine. It was decent. It was a lot was revealed, a lot was shown off, and just to start it off, one of the main things that stood out for me was Starfield by Bethesda Game Studios is going to be an Xbox exclusive, confirmed. Xbox and PC exclusive. Very, very excited, very happy about that. Cannot wait to play it. They showed off the engine game, an engine basically just like a in-game cinematic, I believe. It's got a very, very cool look. For what if you didn't watch, it's like a spacecraft on like a different planet with an astronaut inside. It's got a big old countdown sequence where it's like dramatized, like, okay, we're counting down to the date. It's supposed to be released on November 11th, 2022. It looks awesome. I cannot wait for this. It's pretty much everything that I want in a Bethesda game, other than like, Fallout and Skyrim like that. But it's a new take on it. It's a new world. It's a new world that they never have been on, I think, like space and all that. Like, we don't have the size of the game. We don't know like what it's going to be about necessarily, but we do know that it's going to be on this new engine, this new Bethesda engine, which in my opinion is far overdue, but thank God that they're making it. Thank God, because it's just, if I can take whatever I see from that, that engine trailer thing, is that if it looks like that, I'm going to be very, very happy because it looks crisp, it looks updated, it looks nice. I love the whole mechanical thing, the aesthetic. It's not like super futuristic where you're like, what's a good world I can kind of like reference like that? Star Trek. It's not like that. It's not like Star Trek where it's like super glossy and all that. I would say it's like maybe like 50 years, maybe 70 years in the future. Still kind of mechanically looking. We've got a lot of buttons on the spacecraft. A lot of, they have like robots and all that. It's kind of like, it seems realistic in our time. I think it kind of does. But it looks really cool. I like the aesthetic. The trailer was very, very, very good. Very well done. Very good first impression. They've already got some poster art out there, which looks badass. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I'm super, super excited for this. I think that it has the opportunity to change people's perspective on Bethesda games who did not like Fallout, who did not like Skyrim, who did not like, whatever else that they don't like. Basically those are like the main two games that they develop. But like, if you are a fan of those games, if you do like Fallout, if you do like Skyrim, this is going to be right up your alley. You're going to love this, I think. But I just can't wait. 2022. It's going to be awesome, man. I cannot wait. Another one that was revealed was Battlefield 2042. Now, I did talk to you about the cinematic-looking trailer, but now they showed off some gameplay. A gameplay trailer, which is like 2 minutes, 46 seconds, I think. It's kind of short. And I'll be honest with you, I wanted more of that. I think that they could have showed, like, more things with that. It kind of went by pretty quickly, which is kind of disappointing, but I just wanted to see like a little bit more. I thought that they showed off, pretty much like a good portion of it was going to look like, but I think that we needed a little bit more to see how it's going to flow, how it's going to be, how a game's going to play out. But I feel like most of the trailers that were like that were all kind of like pretty quick, bang, bang, get to the next one. So I understand why, they would do that. Maybe because they just haven't had any time to develop a gameplay, like a fully fleshed out like match of like Conquest or whatever like that. But it looks good. It looks decent. I think that it's there's going to be more to come on July 22nd at the EA Play Live. But I'm excited. I know that all of my friends were also very, very excited, and my brothers. So like that's a good thing because I was always the one that was like pretty much I was sold like. When I saw the first trailer, when I saw thought it was going to be about at like 2042, I was like, okay, I'm sold. This is going to be sick. But now, like watching it with my friends, like they're like, okay, this is good. This is a good direction that they're going to. I think that it's starting to win people back from what they had at Battlefield 5 because, from what I said earlier, that was very divisive and nobody wanted to play the World War II thing again. Well, at least my friends did, and then that was just kind of like a big thing with me. Is like, okay, well, come play with me, or no, don't because you don't like the game, whatever. But this is good because now my friends will play with me. That we're gonna have some fun. Hopefully, it's not gonna be. It won't be as divided in playing games and all that. So I think that's a good move to go back to like slightly modern / futuristic. It's gonna be fun, and they seem pretty happy. So did I, and I just can't wait. I just needed a little bit more of it, but that will soon come, and hopefully that they. Don't try to hide so much of this game because I feel like if you hide a little too much and if you don't explain what exactly it can be, that you're just gonna alienate some fans and be like, well, what is this really like? What is like what kind of game is it really going to be? Like I feel like there's just like some things that they could be hiding in terms of like gameplay and in terms of like how a match is gonna be, how a game it's just gonna be like that. But I just think that if they don't beat behind the bush, if they don't hide what their game is about, then it's going to be fine. Just don't set people up to expect something that's not it. If you're just going to be vague about it, if you're going to be not silent, but if you're going to be quiet, if you're going to be coy, don't do that, because then that just gets the internet talking, and that just gets people speculating on something that they shouldn't be speculating on. That it should just be out in the open. Like, what is this going to be about? How's this going to play? How's it going to feel? Don't do not hide that from the customers, because then you're just going to get some distrust and insecurities about like what your game is going to be about, because you've already got to you got to remember that they failed with Battlefield 5 big time, in terms of sales, in terms of the fan base, in terms of everything. That they just failed bad. They were down bad. I'm just kidding. I actually figured out what that meant this past week, and I was kind of shocked on what the actual meaning of down bad meant. I thought it was just like you were so down, like you were sad, like how if you're somebody sad, like, oh, he's just down, or he's been down for a while. I thought that down bad meant like he's been down for a long time. It's bad. Like, I remember I asked my friend like this, like, does down bad mean like just like bummed out or sad? Like, no, man, it means horny. Like, what? For real? Like, yeah, man, it means horny. Like, how'd you not know that? Like, because when I hear it and like people say it, or somebody like does something, tweets it or whatever, it's just like, it just sounds like he's sad. I don't know, or bummed out. I don't know, but that was a big shock to me, because I had no idea what that's what that meant, because it doesn't sound like that's what it would mean, or like the definition of down bad. Let me look it up. It does mean horny, but it also means something else that I think was kind of interesting. It was weird. Let me see. Let me find this, because I don't want to be wrong on here. I don't want to apologize next episode saying I got to apologize. I made a mistake. Okay, the brief. Okay, let's see. The phrase down bad means to be extremely eager, horny, and or desperate. Okay, so I guess like anybody can be down bad. I mean, eager or desperate. Okay. So just like, what if he's down bad to I don't know, get a W in Warzone? I'm like, I'm so down bad. Do you say it like that? Because I never used it in in person. Like, I would never have to say something like, "Oh, are you down bad?" like that. I've never had to say it like that. I've never used it in person. So I don't know how to use it. But yeah, just thing that I thought that was kind of funny this past week, learning how to use, or learning what down bad meant. It's just like, because nowadays I see a new word or I see a new phrase and I just ignore it. Because I don't care about what new form or new phrase is out there. I just really don't care. I don't really try to use it all that much, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. You say whatever you want. I'll say whatever I use, I guess. I don't know. But it was funny, though. It was funny. But it does show that I am a bit old, I guess. Maybe it's just because I'm older and I don't really care about learning about new phrases or new words or whatever. It's just, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm at a state of age where I have no interest in learning a new phrase or using it. And like, it just continues to add up. The vocabulary just continues to pile up of what I do not know. And whenever my friends say it, like when I see them, or if I'm ever online with them, they say something, I'm like, what does that mean? They always say, like, how do you not know what that means? Like, bro, I don't know, man. I'm just going about, my own life and how I see things. I'm not trying to study new phrases, not trying to study new pop culture. I'm just trying to live my life. Come on, be nice. Like, I know what be nice means. It means be nice. Oh, and another game that was shown that I just absolutely kind of loved everything about it. The more and more I saw it, was Halo Infinite, and I was actually, surprisingly, it has been a weird turn of events. Last summer, I was very disappointed. I was very actually concerned about Halo Infinite's gameplay and about Halo Infinite's approach and about how much they showed off about Halo Infinite last E3. But this E3, I was actually very convinced and very excited for what they did in order to make it look better. Now, if you don't know this, after E3 last year, shortly after, Microsoft and 343 Industries decided to delay the game an entire year. And you know me, I was already disappointed. I was already mad about it. I was just complaining, why the fuck would they do that? If they showed it off so quickly, after they showed it off, they just delayed it an entire year. Like, they were going to sell us a broken game. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just incompetent. They have no idea what the fans want. They have no idea how to respond to fans or, put out a good game anymore. Like, what's going to happen? And shortly after, an entire year later, we get this, reveal. And in this one, we get more of a, what I thought that was actually a really interesting and really touching moment in, like, the campaign stuff that they showed. They showed a little bit of the campaign, like a little snippet of campaign. Nothing, no gameplay, nothing like that. They showed, like, a cinematic of, like, Chief and this new AI that is not Cortana, but is, like, sort of similar to Cortana. But it was really touching, and it was really moving, and it was weird because it feels like it was almost like a page out of the book of Halo. Like this is how you make a Halo game. Like the relationships between Master Chief and Cortana type of, relationship here, but you can feel it. You can totally feel it, like it's there. It is vibrant. It is moving. It's making me feel something. I felt emotion out of that, like, little snippet of cinematic, and I was like, wow, this is really powerful, actually. This is something that I did not expect from the last, that would happen this time around. This is not something that I thought that they would show, but it really just kind of made me kind of be, okay, well, maybe they do have the grasp of this story. Maybe they do know what to do with this relationship between Chief and Cortana, or this new AI. But maybe this is what they needed, the time that they needed for, like, to really settle on what this is going to be about, and what this is going to have, and what this is going to implicate for the rest of the universe of Halo. And I gotta say, man, I was thoroughly impressed. I really was, and I was just, so happy to finally see something, other than that bad gameplay of last year. I mean, in some parts it was good, but it just didn't look that crisp, and it didn't look next gen. But this year, I'm totally on board right now. As I've been saying with my friends and all that, I was very surprised by Halo and how much I liked it. And that's also for the multiplayer too. I enjoyed what they showed for the multiplayer. Now, I gotta say this: I was not a big fan of Halo 5's multiplayer at all. Really, I just wasn't. I didn't grasp me or anything. Having said that, I didn't like the speed and all that. I didn't like the mechanics and all the thrusting and all that. But I did like what I saw for this one. For this one, what it was for me was it just felt like there was more. The speed was there, but it was also like a throwback in a way, because they're using equipment again, which, if you don't know, is kind of a thing that they used in Halo 3 with, like, a bubble shield, grav lifts, energy bomb, or energy drainer, all that stuff like that. It's kind of, from what I can tell, in this with the grappling hook and all that, it kind of feels like they're kind of going back to that equipment style of gameplay, which I enjoyed in Halo 3, of course, and I was a big fan of it. But if we can see more of that kind of come into the speed of the modern day shooter type of thing, and kind of feel like, how is it going to blend with the style of Halo and what they've always been about, and how they always approach, like, a game like that, I just feel like they're on the right track. It looks good. It looks very, very crisp. It looks a lot better than last year's, and I think that if they continue with this path, and they continue to show us little by little of how what this is going to be about, and if they can continue to make it look epic, which this one they did. Like, the ending of this trailer about this multiplayer reveal was just so cool. I was, like, almost, like, smiling because it was so cool. But if they keep continuing to do that, it's just, they're on the right track to winning people back, I think. Especially me, because back then I was just not on their side. I just was not on their side. This year is very, very different. I'm pretty much on their side right now. So that should be encouraging to 343 to continue to do what they do. If they ever listen to this or whatever, which I know that they won't, but just know that I have kind of turned the corner on your game now. I'm more excited. I'm actually looking forward to it, and I want to play it pretty much right now. If I could, I would. But those were, like, one of the main things that I noticed from E3. I know it's not that much, but it was just the things that kind of stood out to me. I also like the new Mario Party, which is coming out. I think next year is going to be like a collaboration or like a big montage or a big highlight reel, basically, of a bunch of other past Mario Party boards, mini games, style of play. It's going to be all like being like a nostalgic trip, which I'm a big fan of. I mean, I'm a big Mario Party 2 guy. I think that's my favorite one of all time. I also enjoyed the new one, the Super Mario Party, the most current one at the moment. Is also very, very good. But if they're gonna add like the modern day like feel of a Mario Party, but also have the classical maps, the classic mini games, I think that's just, for me, it's an automatic buy because I freaking love Mario Party so much. The amount of fun that you can have with your family, friends, just with Mario Party is just endless. It's so much fun. I feel like we always have the most fun with Mario Party, even though it's only 4 players, which in the modern day is like kind of small. If you're talking about like games that you can play with your friends, but it's still very, very fun. It's on the Switch. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna have multiple button inputs, so you can play with it on the Switch Mini or the Switch Lite, and then on an actual Switch as well. So that's gonna be cool. And it's gonna be fun. Another game I think that was kind of, that I liked was the Mario Golf, Speed Rush or whatever it's called. I've been waiting for a long time for Mario or Nintendo to make another Mario sports game. It's been so long. I love the Mario Sluggers, baseball, strikers. Those have always been so cool and so well done to me that say like, why would they not make any more? Because they were so fun and they weren't half-assed. They were actually really, really fun and really cool to play. So that looks awesome. I'm not the biggest golf guy, but any type of Mario sport game, I will try to play. I even played like the Olympic Games one back in the day. Those weren't like the most fun to me, but they were still kind of like enjoyable enough that you would play more than like just one time, with your family. And I guess some of the lowlights of E3 was kind of like just like, for one, so just like some of the games just like didn't make any sense to me, like, or I just didn't like think that they would continue to make these games. What is it? Far Cry 6 or whatever, the one with all the villains coming back. That one just made me roll my eyes like nothing I've ever had. It was just so. I don't even know what it was about. Like all the enemies from the Far Cry universe are coming back in this one game, and this new alter reality or whatever is like, it was so bizarre. Like I was just like, what the hell is this, man? This is so weird. Like I don't even want to look at the screen. It's just so bad. But a lot of the games at Ubisoft just kind of like, turn me off. Basically, I turn off with that. Ghost Recon, whatever, Division, whatever. I don't care about those. I only care about Assassin's Creed, but they didn't have any. This year is not going to be a new game, thank God, because in the Valhalla, I've said this on this podcast, sucks. But yeah, they have an expansion on that. You're going to be going to, France and all that, other places around Europe as a Viking and all that. New campaigns and new stories. I just don't want them to be as boring as the main story in Valhalla. I mean, if they could learn from that and make an actual compelling story with an interesting gameplay and interesting characters that don't just leave and abandon you, I mean, that would be so much fun. But I just don't trust them right now because I just cannot stand the campaign in Valhalla. I don't even want to finish it. I do not want to finish it. It is that bad. But yeah, I mean, like, not to end and so negatively, but there's always going to be some games out there that are just like, just like you roll your eyes at, like, why would they make this? Like, why would they do this? Like, I know my buddy is like, he's a big Splinter Cell fan, and we make fun of him because Ubisoft will never give him another Splinter Cell game ever. Like, it's been like years almost since he had a Splinter Cell game, and like they keep rumors of like, they're working on it. Maybe they'll put Sam Fisher in like another game. He doesn't want that. He just wants a new Splinter Cell game. And we make fun of him, but we also get that he's, he just wants his game back. He just wants another game, and he wants it to be good. It's like, and I think it's also like the majority of the Ubisoft fan base also really likes this property, Splinter Cell. So it's almost so weird that they wouldn't want to continue it or make another one. It makes no sense. Like, do they just not think that it'll sell or whatever? Like, I think that it will, maybe they don't think so. I don't know. I could be wrong, but they focus so much on Rainbow Six, and it's so annoying. And then just Wildlands, Ghost Recon, like all these other games that just seem they're just so generic and boring to me. I just roll my eyes at them. I don't know, man. And whenever Sony has theirs, I guess I'll check that out too. But very happy at what the games that they showed at E3. They could have shown more for some others. I thought that we got enough. But yeah, all in all, good E3. And hopefully next year's is not virtual. Hopefully that we're back into what are they called? Conference halls or whatever, arenas to see what these guys are going to show the audience. And now we're going to step into the world of sports. And this week is going to be no basketball. It's going to be all the Euros, all the soccer that's going on across the sea, across the Atlantic in Europe right now. We're going to see all what's been happening throughout the tournament, as week 1 will close tomorrow after this podcast airs. But I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts on some of the fixtures, some of the teams, what's been happening in around the tournament, and the obvious story that occurred on during the Euros this past week was on day 2 of the Euros, when Denmark played Finland. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. I don't know if you guys are fans of the Euros or soccer in general, but what happened in the world of sports was pretty scary. It was a scary time. It was a scary moment in the day, and pretty much the entire day was pretty uncertain of what happened. So if you don't know, the Denmark international team's Christian Eriksen collapsed on the field right before halftime of the Denmark-Finland game, and it was due to a cardiac arrest. It has been confirmed by Eriksen and the Denmark Federation and the doctors that is why he collapsed, was a cardiac arrest. And it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying, because I was watching that game live and just taking all the Euros and festivities and all that. International soccer tournaments are back and all that, just being excited, and to see Eriksen just drop, pretty much dead at that time, was just horrible. It was so bad. I was sitting up in my couch, just like, what am I watching? And you can tell, like, the commentators and all that, the play-by-play guys were just in shock, in absolute shock of what they were saying. And in my opinion, what was actually kind of bad. Not mad at, for people like try to cover it as best as they can and try not to be, get a bad report in, but, they kind of showed they showed his face. Eriksen's pretty much stone dead face on TV. For a few seconds at least. Because they got a camera view of obviously the players were trying to shield him from the audience, from the fans, from the crowd, but they were able to see between their legs, on the ground side, through their legs, and see his actual face, and that just put a bad feeling in my gut, and I thought that he had died right then and there. That was just horrible, because I actually saw it. I think the players even said that he was basically gone at that moment. His heart had stopped, and the captain of the team, of the Denmark team, thank God for him, because he actually held his tongue out, make sure that he didn't swallow it. Tried to position him in a better angle. I think started to administer CPR or something like that. I can't remember, but he was one of the main people that were consulting Eriksen, and then his girlfriend that came onto the field after that. But it was really, really tough. It was really, really sad. And it was because, in my opinion, they should have cut away to the studio people faster. Just get that off the field, off the TV screen. Nobody wants to see that. Just cut away. And but they didn't, and you can actually see as best as they tried to shield his body away from the fans, I did see his body jolt when they tried to resuscitate him with the defibrillator. And that was just like, oh my God, I knew it right then and there. I thought that he was dead. Like, I thought that there was no way for him to come back from this. I thought that they were too late. I thought that they were just gonna have a dead person. Somebody actually died, and that they would just have to cancel the tournament. I would think they would. I mean, right? I mean, like, if somebody died on the field of the game, I mean, then it's over, right? I mean, like, I don't know what you would do in that situation. Like, would you just, like, call off the tournament or maybe hold it or suspend it at the moment? But it's like, what do you do in that situation? I have no idea what you would do. I mean, thank God I'm not in that position, but it's just like, I would not know what to do with that. By the way, he did not die. He survived. He's back in the hospital. From what I know of my knowledge, he's in stable condition, and he's doing well at the moment. Which, thank God that he made it alive. That he actually made it. That the medical team on the field was able to essentially bring him back to life, because I'm pretty sure that he was going to die if they did not do that. He was already going to be dead, which would have been absolutely tragic. And you know what? Just hats off to those people, because they did an amazing, amazing job with that. I had never seen anything like that in my life, and I had never seen any of the medical teams in any sports perform something that was so that it'd be reactive on a flip of a coin. They gotta go. Like, we gotta go and try to save this guy's life right now, and they did it. I mean, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And you can't wish for anything better to happen, because it was just one of the best things that you could have seen all day. Not him collapsing, not him almost dying, not him being dead, but the way that those people were able to bring him back to life or save his life was just amazing. And I thought if I didn't touch up on that, it would have been a bit of a disservice to Christian Eriksen and the Denmark team and all that. But then they pushed, so it had been 90 minutes since the game stopped, and then they decided to play the game that day. And at first I was like, why would they do this? Why not wait till tomorrow? And then there was word that Eriksen called the team and said, yeah, go out there and play. But I'm like, still like, bro, like, these players are emotionally compromised. Like, there's no way that they are in the right headspace. There's no way. They just saw you basically dead on the field about an hour and a half ago. There's no way. I mean, again, thank God you are alive, and thank God for that medical team on the field. But you cannot put that decision on them, because they just saw you. They just saw you in the worst position ever. So it's like, in my opinion, they should have waited a day and played it the next day. Not that big of a deal. But they played it, and they lost 1-0, which was disappointing. But just thank God Christian Eriksen is alive and well at the moment. Oh, but man, that was scary. That was so terrifying. Again, just never seeing anything like that. It was wild. And I even talked to my friends about, like, did you see this? Did you see that? I showed my family, and they were like, oh my God, this guy, like, was actually pretty much dead. And I'm like, yeah, he was. That medical team just saved his life. I mean, it was just incredible what they did. But again, thoughts and prayers with Christian Eriksen, hopefully for a speedy recovery and not leading to anything, worse in his life. Now to get to the fun part of the sports talk. I think we should talk about the Euros, of what I saw during this week. Week 1 was very exciting, very defining for some teams and revealing for some teams, of like some teams that I think that, are just, separate themselves from others. For one, Italy looked very good in their past 2 games. They played Turkey, and then they played Switzerland. They beat them both 3-0. They've recorded 2 shutouts, no goals scored upon. They looked amazing. They looked really good. They looked fast. They looked tactical. They looked great on the counterattack, and just a little bit of, a little bit of concern though, because they have beaten again Turkey and Switzerland, but who's to say how they would react or play against a team like a France, a Germany, a Portugal, England, whatever, Holland, Russia, who knows, yeah, so in my opinion, they haven't been tested all that much. So only time will tell when they make it to the round of 16 during the knockouts, how good they really are, how they can manage a game, because they've been destroying teams lately. So what if they put up against an actual competitive opponent? How would they fare about that? I would say that they would do well, but I would also say that maybe they just are too full of themselves at the moment. Maybe they just feel like that they kind of walked over these other teams and just thought that they were amazing, which in hindsight they weren't. But time will tell with them. I think that they'll do great. I think that they will make it far, but we'll just see how far that they actually make it. Portugal and Ronaldo destroyed Hungary 3-0, and it was a bit of a late flurry of goals at the end. 3 goals in the span of maybe 10 minutes, I think. Ronaldo got a penalty. Ronaldo scored from the run of play, and then there was a deflection goal that was unlucky, but it was still at the end of the day a goal. So Portugal looks really good. Kind of a slow game, I would say. Portugal did seem a bit, just kind of slow to adapt and slow to attack, and not the strongest I've seen of them. I haven't seen very much of them, but from what I've seen, that they do win their games. So I didn't really take that into consideration to be a definitive weakness. But I think that they'll be good. They got to play France and Germany next in the group, so those will be the real tests of how they do, because those are some good teams right there. I mean, let's just talk about that game right now, France versus Germany. I mean, what an opening game to that Group F, or for those teams, their opening game against each other. I mean, I thought that France would destroy them, just because I think I've seen Germany in the past, or pretty recently, that they just haven't been that good. They lost to North Macedonia a while ago, but that could just be a fluke, right? But this game, man, this game was just telling of it all. They just don't really possess an attack good enough to break down France. France was defensively a wall. They could not get past them. I think they recorded maybe one shot, maybe no shots on goal. France was just dominant. They were destroying them on the wing with Mbappe. Mbappe just ripped apart Germany's defense. It was just insane of how good that guy is. I mean, he is one of the better or the best players in the world right now. I mean, obviously you got Ronaldo and Messi, but Mbappe, Neymar just right behind them. They are so good. They're technically good. They're athletic. I mean, Mbappe ran down somebody, blew past a German defender. I think it was Mats Hummels, with ease, just no problem at all. He's just so fast. It reminded me of the DK Metcalf running down Buda Baker in the NFL last season. It was just incredible speed that I just witnessed. I had to rewind it and show my brother, dude, look how fast this guy is. This guy's incredibly fast. Holy crap, this is incredible. But then I think that I think France and Portugal will make it out of that group. From what I've seen, Germany kind of seems a little bit out of sync. Not really attack savvy. Not really. I mean, they can move the ball up pretty well, into the box, but they just don't know what to do with it after that. Gnabry wasn't that good. Havertz was okay. Muller's kind of non-existent now. I mean, he's getting up in age, and I understand that, and he's kind of older, but he just wasn't really in that game. Really, he doesn't have much to do with all the young players and all the players that are younger, faster than him. So it just kind of feels like he's just kind of there, just trotting around, just trying to be an option. Yeah, maybe that one pass or that one, being in the right place at the right time. Hopefully, that kind of guy. But I think that what they have to do is just kind of And I've been saying this about like a bunch of teams. I think that they're just too tactical in the box, man. Like they just want that extra pass so badly that they just won't shoot the ball. I've seen that with Italy, with France, with Portugal, even with England. I mean, like those guys, they always want that extra pass, and maybe it's just because I'm an American, and we played a little bit differently, but I don't know, we just like don't like it all the time with all this complicated passing, especially in the box, because then you're complicating it, and then it just makes it harder for you. But I feel like yeah. I mean, like that group is going to be insane. Germany again, I think that they're going to be out. Maybe they'll beat Hungary, I think, but I doubt that they can beat Portugal. I mean, with the way that they're playing, I know that Portugal had a bad game, in my opinion, kind of slow, but I think that they'll bounce back from that. And when they face like a France or a Germany, they will be, full steam ahead. Like, we got to beat these guys. We cannot play around with them. And I think that they're just more talented than Germany. And I think France is the most talented team in that group, and then Portugal, then Germany, then Hungary, in that order. So yeah, that's what I kind of think is going to happen. I would like Germany to advance, but I think France and Portugal are just going to take that group. Let's see, what is next? Oh yeah, England. Now, I remember last week I said that I think that England could win it all. Lots of talent, great talented players. All of them could be rated pretty highly. Now, how are they going to play together? And I've got to be honest with you. I was up early for that game, 6 a.m. in the U.S. What I saw was very worrying, if you're a fan of England, because I saw no chemistry. I saw none of that. I saw pretty much lots of talent and like not being on the same page at all with anybody. I mean, bad passes, bad runs, people not knowing where to be in this situation, arguing with each other. You got to be here. No, I got to be over there. Why'd you make this run and all that? It just feels like it's just, there's a lot of talent and a lot of personalities and a lot of ego in that team for there to be like a cohesive mesh of all that and to really play as a team. Now, they did win, by the way, 1-0 to Croatia, but I do think that there is a little bit of an underlining problem of the chemistry, big time, because those passes that, if you watch the highlights of that game, or if you rewatch the game and you see like just some of the passes, some of the runs, some of the absolutely disjointed play between the players, it does seem that there is a bit of a disagreement in some of the players who they play with. So I would say that if you are England, you got to find chemistry quick. You got to build that chemistry as quick as you can because you're going to need it. I know Croatia was with the side that eliminated you in the World Cup 3 years ago, but that was back then. This is now, and I know that you beat them now, but it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get a lot harder. So you got to be able to adapt from this, learn from it, and get better when the time comes. Because if you get eliminated in this group, it's not going to look well. Because you do have, on paper, one of the more talented teams in this tournament. So I think that if you don't get it together, it's going to be pretty bad. I mean, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. So just in case like you don't know, the team has they played well enough to win. They played okay to win though. The goal was kind of cheap, but it was was a goal. It was fine. The defending was kind of lacking in certain parts, not very convincing, not very what's the word? Not as dominant as I would like it to be. Not as dominant as I would think it would be. And the attack was kind of, just unplanned and untrusted by other players on that team. So I feel like if you are an England fan, you should be a little concerned. But I think that that team can find a way to win this entire tournament. I really, really do. And if that can happen, that'll be a good thing. And if not, they'll just lose and, go home, I guess. But it's going to be fine, I think. I think it'll be fine. It can't be as bad as Germany. Knowing that they're just in a group with other better teams, Portugal and France. But if they lose, it'll be disappointing. But it also won't be as. I think if you're a fan of England, if you live in England, you know these players better than I do. You'll probably be like, okay, well, I kind of see how we lost. I kind of see how we, choked or deflated. And it was kind of noticeable from the beginning. So, I mean, like, if you see it, then you see it. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for today for this episode of the podcast. I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you for watching. Again, this means so much for you to finish listening or watching, whatever. If you make it to the end, thank you so much. Again, you can support it by liking, subscribing on YouTube at Intelligent Moron, or if you use a podcast feed, if you're an audio listener, you can go to Spotify or Apple Podcast and click on it and listen. But if you are an Apple Podcast user, I would ask you this. If you could scroll all the way down to where it says ratings and review, if you click that rating and if you leave a review, that'll mean the world to me. It would mean so much, and I want to see what you guys think of the show and what you would rate it, and I want to see all that. I'd very much appreciate that. So again, if you can find this podcast, Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva, on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you guys next week.